Let's talk about one of those little things on the internet that drives pretty much everyone crazy. It's that moment of confusion we have all felt staring at a web form, and you know what? It has a surprisingly simple fix that makes the web better for literally everyone.
You know the feeling, right? You're trying to buy something, sign up for a newsletter, whatever, and the form is so confusing you just give up. You just close the tab. But what if I told you a single, incredibly simple rule could fix almost all of that frustration?
So where does all this frustration actually come from? Let's break down how these simple forms become so annoying. And you'll see it almost always comes down to one missing ingredient, just a little bit of clarity. Okay, take a look at this. It's a classic example, 3 empty boxes for a phone number. Now we can probably guess what goes where, but should we have to? Is it area code first? Maybe a country code? What if you're not in the US? This tiny moment of hesitation, that's the exact design fail we're here to talk about. So what's the fix? Well, there's actually an official web accessibility guideline made for this exact problem. It's called Success Criterion 3.3.2. Yeah, I know, that sounds super technical, but I promise you its goal is beautifully simple. And here it is, the rule itself. Labels or instructions are provided when content requires user input. That's it. That's the whole thing. All it really means is, if you want someone to type something into a box, you have to tell them what you want them to type. It's pretty much the digital version of labeling the salt and sugar shakers in your kitchen.
But what's really cool here is the why behind the rule. This isn't about cluttering up the page with text. It's about respecting the user's time and energy. The whole point is just to give people enough info so they can get the job done without getting confused or frustrated. All right, so we've got the problem, we've got the rule, now let's see it in action with some classic before and afters. This is where it all really starts to make sense.
Here we go, a perfect case. Before, you have one label, name, for 2 boxes. I mean, which one is which? First name, last name? It's totally ambiguous. But look at the after. Just by giving them 2 clear labels, given name and family name, poof, all the confusion just vanishes. It's instantly better.
And here's the solution to our phone number problem from the beginning. Instead of one vague label, we get 3 super specific ones: area code, exchange, number. No more guesswork, no more hitting submit and getting an error. Just pure, simple clarity.
And here's a fun one. A label doesn't even have to be text. You know that little magnifying glass icon you see next to a search bar? That's a label. It's this universal visual symbol that tells everybody, no matter what language they speak, you search here. It's a label in its purest, most elegant form.
Okay, let's clear something up really quick. To really get this rule, it's actually super important to understand what it isn't about, because it gets mixed up with a few other similar sounding rules all the time.
So look here, our rule 3.3.2, that's the one we're talking about. It's right at the top. It is only about one thing. Is there a label that you can see? Is it visually present for everyone? That's it. The other rules, 1.3.1 and 4.1.2, those are more about the behind-the-scenes stuff, how the label is coded for assistive tech like screen readers. Our rule is the simple, foundational one. Just make sure people can see what they're supposed to do. Let's also clear up a bit of jargon. When the rule says requires user input, it doesn't mean the field is mandatory or required. It just means it's a field that's waiting for a user to type something in. So this applies to every single field, whether it's required or optional. Bottom line, every box needs a label. Simple as that.
So let's zoom out, because this isn't really just about technical rules or making pretty designs. This is about people. It's about the very real human impact of the things we build and how we can create a web that's just better.
And the benefits are huge, and they're for everyone. Clear labels are an absolute game changer for folks with cognitive or learning disabilities. And for the rest of us, it prevents that infuriating cycle, you know? You hit submit, you get an error, you have to go back and figure out what you did wrong. This just makes things less frustrating for all of us. I think this quote from the source material really gets to the heart of it. The whole goal is to create an experience where everyone will know how to respond. It's about tearing down barriers and just letting people do the thing they came to your site to do. So really, if you take one thing away from all this, it should be this. That little visible label is one of the most powerful tools we have. It can take a confusing task and make it totally intuitive for absolutely everyone. And that kind of leaves us with a final question to think about. Whether you're a designer, a developer, or just someone who uses the internet, is the web you're helping create a helper, one that guides people along, or is it a hurdle, putting up obstacles that don't need to be there? The choice, as we've seen, is often as simple as a label.